Oh man, Aaron, if we hadn't been doing this for years, that would have also been a good name for our podcast.
Poet's
Yeah,
Delight?
no,
Oh.
no. The correct answer was, yeah, no, no, no.
Rhyme or free, it doesn't matter to me. It's my bad poetry. Good day, and welcome to My Bad Poetry, a podcast where we take a deep dive into our poems from youth, yesteryear, or even yesterday, always asking the question, why in the world did I write this? I'm Aaron.
And I'm Dave.
And together this week we are looking at a poem from the Wolf Journal.
I honestly thought you were gonna stop right there. This week we are looking at a poem.
Well, the reason why I hesitate is because I honestly don't know which poem we're looking at, Dave.
Oh my gosh, Aaron.
We are that far off the rails, so sorry in advance.
Wait, there have been rails this whole time?
Well, we have been, at least within the structure of the show, we've been following the typed anthologies of the Wolf Journal. We then tackled the 4 poems that were in the anthologies, but not featured in the Wolf Journal.
Correctamundo.
And now we're returning to the Wolf Journal.
Ah.
And it is no longer like anthologized, shall we say?
Oh gosh.
It's more like just the random scribblings of a wild person.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out, where do we even start?
Just how is this different than the anthologized stuff? Because all of them have been raving and just ridiculous.
I will say that the earlier stuff, at least I gave titles.
So you've even given up?
Yeah, these are just off the cuff, just word vomits.
Oh.
Yeah. Speaking of off the cuff word vomit, how about you bring us into the realm of poetry with what you wrote this week?
I wrote a limerick.
Okay.
Because I couldn't come up with anything else. I was trying to figure out what I was going to write, and I was asking my wife, and I said, I have no ideas. And she said, well, do you have a type of poem you'd never written before and you'd like to explore that? And I'm like, no, because I've got haiku, limerick, and random trash. Those are my 3 go-tos. So here's my limerick.
Okay.
It's called Round the Fire. Blowing on embers stoked and seared, no longer cold nor curse afeared. The heat radiates, my heart it sates. Now hairs are missing from my beard.
You told a story there, Dave.
Right?
Yeah.
As far as my poetry goes, that was technically something.
Yeah. Yeah. You brought us from A to B with the proper A-B rhyme scheme.
A, B, B, A.
Yes. I mean, like,
Ugh.
I was shortening it for the A to B.
No, incorrect.
Okay.
Aaron, I am the limerick expert here.
I will give you that.
Yeah, I technically have more experience with limericks. Not with good limericks, but with limericks.
Okay, so here's my thought behind this, Dave. I found the last poem that I recorded. It's
Okay.
Of course, the silence one.
Ugh.
Silence, blank canvas for the composer, yada, yada. And then I have this, if I were to die today, this is what I would want to say to the readers of this book.
Right.
We talked about that in a previous...
Yeah.
And then I turn the page and I get these 3 little stanzas.
Okay, are they associated together? Are they independent? Are they...
They share a page.
Not what I asked.
Yeah. The top stanza has a line between it.
Okay.
So it seems to differentiate the top from these next 2. I would say
Okay.
these 2 have more, the top 2 have more to do with the bottom 2. Shall we?
Let's do this.
Okay.
I mean, No time like the present.
If death comes to me, let it come willingly, because I lost my life in the pain of her eyes.
If death comes to me, let death come willingly? Let it come
Oh,
willingly?
so let it come so willingly.
Yeah, I feel like there is a famous poem. I mean, of course, there's a famous poem out there about death, but like death as an old friend kind of thing. But this is like the exact opposite that I have. Like, this is, if I have to die, I will go and be at peace with it. But this is, let death be at peace with coming for me?
I think my previous self missed the mark on that.
Yeah.
I think the idea is I would welcome it willingly.
Right.
It doesn't read that way.
No, those are not the words there.
No.
It's the opposite of that.
I'm like, yeah, death, I know you're begrudging, but maybe you should just come so willingly.
Yeah.
Okay. Already, this is off to a good start.
And then you die in her eyes?
Because I lost my life in the pain of her eyes.
Pain as in window? Or pain as in suffering?
This is PAIN.
Okay. I just thought that could have been interesting.
That could have, yes. You pointed out a missed opportunity there, if barely.
It would be interesting. It would not be useful or practical or meaningful. It would be interesting.
I've got to extrapolate from this.
Yes.
I believe this is a moment. I have to see. I don't know when this happened. I was going to say this might have been when I held another girl's hand while I was still dating someone. Yeah. And I honestly held a girl's hand as far as it went. But for me and for the person who I was dating, that's a breach of trust.
Right.
And I write about that a couple pages later, but I don't know if this is to do with that betrayal of like how I felt devastated from the pain that I caused her.
Ah. I can understand that. Then that also makes the first two lines make a little more sense in that it's not up to you, it's up to kind of like a universal judgment.
Oh.
Like it's, you're being judged.
I deserve this, bring it on.
Death personified would be okay with this because of my sins.
Yeah, yeah. You know what this also made me think of as I'm speaking through this? Gosh, is it Soft Cell? I just died in her arms tonight. It must have been something it said. I think that just seems like a complete ripoff there.
Yeah.
Poetic, but done to death.
Literally.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, let's just power through.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the next one following that lovely stanza. Live life to the fullest. But okay. Live life to the fullest. Yeah, I know. Profound. Never spoken of before this moment.
You got to seize that carp.
Yeah. But listen to the follow-up here, because it clearly is poetry. Live life to the fullest, but live it with a mindful conscience, and in enough moderation, you have a life to live the day after.
So what I'm imagining is young Aaron is sitting in front of his wolf journal and says, one day, I hope to be the poet laureate for the CDC. Like, I'm gonna write I'm gonna write poems about healthy living for the government.
This is sad boy poetry of a nerd who wasn't invited to parties that happened in the woods where people drank in high school, and I was justifying that lack of social skills or that lack of social experience with, well, I'm living a good, clean life. Right. They might die tomorrow.
Jeez. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anger?
Maybe.
Oh my.
Yep.
Also, can I just say, enough moderation is the most boring phrase I have ever heard. This sounds like the kind of guy who is just like, I had a crazy night last night. I did a jigsaw puzzle in bed by 7:30. Had some spicy food. Had some black pepper on it, so I needed a full glass of whole milk.
Finish the night off with, no, not whole milk, Dave. Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Living life on the edge there, bud.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very straight-laced poem that is so clunky you can barely call it a poem.
Right.
Like, it's written almost with stanzas, with enjambments and lines, but the line breaks don't even make sense.
No.
There's a break between mindful and conscious. So it's, but live it with a mindful conscience and in enough moderation, line break.
Oh my gosh.
You have a life to live, the line break day after.
It really feels like a poem where you randomly were like picking words from a book and somehow you slipped into like a dare journal or something.
Yes! I was just gonna say, this is like Dare. Like, hello, fellow youths. Just say no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
What
wow.
a wonderful program that lied to us all and also made us believe so many incorrect things.
Yeah, like, I for sure thought that I was going to be peer pressured into, like, doing lines of coke in a alleyway outside of the school grounds.
Right.
And I was terrified.
I was waiting for a drug dealer outside of my elementary school.
Yeah, to like,
oh, no, that
shove
never
drugs in
happened.
your mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they have profit margins too they need to consider. They can't just like give you free crap.
I don't know if you know this. Everything is controlled by capitalism. That is my dare lesson. I will tell you about capitalism now.
Okay, so that one, I don't even know if we can judge this as a poem. Let's move on. Okay. And the funny thing is, I had a pretty good social life. I had friends. We would hang out. We'd sing show tunes together. You know, the normal stuff.
Normal high school things. Aaron, you're saying that to me. Mm-hmm. Last night we had friends over, had a bonfire. I sat outside after people left. I was sitting by the fire, popped in my headphones, and I was singing along to Be More Chill when I realized there were people walking by. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. Just a guy in his 30s sitting by a fire singing a musical about high school kids.
Yeah, okay. I've only heard, what is it, Michael in the Bathroom?
Oh, such a good song.
That's a good song. I haven't listened to the rest of that album, so.
It's pretty fun. I like it.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Last one for our folks today, and then we'll all leave here sadder. More sad?
Both.
Both and.
I'm going to say both.
Okay. The pain and pressures on my heart and body are lifted just long enough to breathe.
That is a poetic phrase.
Yes. Could we call it a monostitch?
Oh.
Eh?
I think so.
Yeah. Look at my bad self.
Right, an accidental monostitch.
Yeah, written in a 4-line stanza.
Yep. Just random... random line breaks. You're good.
I do like the parallel, like pain and pressures, heart and body. Mm-hmm. If I were to break these up, I would leave to breathe on its own line. I didn't here. I have are lifted long enough line break. Or sorry, are lifted just long line break enough to breathe. It's like the worst possible line break.
I am thinking back to classes where I read great poetry, and I was frustrated with it because I was that kind of edgelord, annoying dude who was just like, poetry is stupid. And thinking back on those poems, and you think, oh, this person agonized over this line break. Like, they worked to make this happen. And then you read this, and it's like, I ran out of space on the page, so I guess I'm going to the next line now.
I didn't even. It's like centered right in the middle. There's nothing that dictates. I will give myself credit. The pain and pressures break on my
Yes.
head and body. Break. Nice
Okay.
parallels. Nice kind of opening. Are lifted just long. Break. Enough to breathe. Like, I would understand if it was like are lifted just long enough to breathe. Maybe that'd be okay. Or are lifted just long enough to breathe. I would even give it just like to have breath as a line unto itself.
That's what I was thinking, is that you could do like the first two lines as they are, and then like a pyramid shape. I'm an idiot. Like a line going in. But like turn it into a concrete, like it's shaping down. It could also then be like half a heart.
Or like just, I mean, that sideways, it could almost look like a cartoon like anvil, and then breath is underneath it. So like the weight is lifted
The
off
weight
the
sitting
breath.
on. See,
And none of that
there
happened.
are things that could be done with this, Aaron.
Oh man.
One day we have to get like some of our past guests on,
Yep.
especially our writing professor past guests, and be like, hey, tell Aaron how bad this is.
Yeah.
Explain to him.
Yeah, I don't think you, I mean, no offense, Dave, but I don't think you are equipped enough to handle the load of ineptitude that previous Aaron had as a poet. Like, you can say this is garbage, but you don't have the critical skills of tearing this to shreds.
Right?
Yeah.
Ooh, what we need is to get a publisher on here. Get someone from Rothwin Wawawa. And then they can just explain to you, like, yeah, if we saw this, we would block your number and your email, and we would move because you know where we are.
Please don't email us again. They say like 6-month limit between attempts of submissions, but yours is a lifelong ban.
Right? We are considering contacting Bic and making sure they never sell you any pens ever again.
Well, yeah, that's all I got for today. I'll try and be a little more structured as we dive back into the Wolf Journal, because there's more here. Yeah,
There's pages. There's pages. Dear listeners, Aaron is showing me the number of pages, and the only way I can describe it is enough paper that would clog a toilet, because that's what those pages should be used for.
this poor wolf. Okay, Dave. These three together. I'll let you judge all three at once. Good or garbage?
So, when I got married, my wife's family bought me and my wife a blender. It's a really good blender. It's a powerful blender. It has multiple settings for like how high and how much power it can use. It is not strong enough for what I would like to do to the pages that you have written those poems on. I would say I'd need like an industrial crushing machine, like the thing that crushes cars, and like fill it with gasoline and then crush it and light it on fire. Did that hurt? Doesn't really hurt because you a little bit agree.
Yeah, no, totally.
Okay, good.
Just to show you how unprepared I was to dive back into the Wolf Journal. Not sure of what I would find. I don't have a poem to end this week.
Give us a monostitch.
Okay. Here's a monostitch from poemanalysis.com. I found it's by Rabindranath Tagore from The Stray Birds, published in 1916. And it says, if you shed tears when you miss the sun, you also miss the stars.
Oh. That's a very sweet little concept.
Yeah. And thought it tied so well into my poems about pain and eyes and living your life so you have another day to live. And no, I got nothing.
No. This was just a good poem.
This was, yes.
And
yeah.
yours also exist on this planet. And now we've put it out to our ones of listeners. So
Tens, Dave. Tens.
ones.
Okay. Ones and zeros. Or tens.
0110111.
But what I'll say to you, dear listeners, take this advice. Because clearly I am one to give it.
Oh, gosh.
Don't shed tears over my poems. Because you may also miss good poems.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. This is bad because now I have to go and get gas in my van so I can drive up to you and slap your face.
Hey, if it's a reason to see me after 3 years, by all means.
Right?
I need to get you angry enough, apparently.
Oh, gosh.
This has been My Bad Poetry.
Now go write some of your own bad poetry. I will say the other day I was trying to think of the word monostitch and I could not get there, and I got monotreme first.
Nice.
You know, like platypuses.
You know? They are
God's monostitch.
I was gonna yeah, they're like the poetry of the animal kingdom. It's odd little subset of creation.
They are your poetry of the animal kingdom.
I love
Just like-
monotremes.
Oh my gosh, they are the weirdest animals. They don't make any sense, and they are kind of wonderful. Venomous mammals, man.
Rhyme free doesn't matter.